If you're not, make sure to wishlist and sign up for those playtests down below in the link I just put in the chat. Brad, go ahead and take it away with this patch 0.
Patch numero 0. I wanted to say numero dos or uno, but 0 it is. I'm going to share my screen so everybody can tune in, and we're going to end up jumping straight into the game client. There's a lot to talk about here. We're not going to talk about the past. We're not going to compare everything. This is 0. This is patch 0. This is alpha 1. Welcome to alpha. And everything moving forward, we'll see what changes and everything like that. So the biggest news on the docket today is the game is 2v2. If you didn't know that already, the game is 2v2. If you've played in some of the 2v2s, you know what to be expected for. If not, get ready to see what's 2v2. We've also got the newest champion, Neva, online. We're going to walk through her. You're going to see her played and everything. There might be a couple new summons in here that you've never seen, but we're not going to focus a ton on the summons because there's a lot of them that have been out in the wild already. So there might be a couple we touch on that we know are new. And we're not going to touch a ton on Bulgar, Locke, and Ragna. Those have been seen in tons of other content and playtests and patches and everything like that. So if you're not familiar with them, you know, you can jump in alpha, you can play them, you can look at the patch notes and see what they are. Nothing drastic is new with them. So we're going to focus on really what is the new today. So the first thing that's new is something that everyone has been waiting for. How do you get cards in a card game, guys?
You stick up the truck that's transporting them.
Well, that's how Titus gets his. Yeah, you gotta get them. You have to purchase them in a store, right?
A store? And what's in stores?
Elfers fighting over some at
So,
one of those.
You get packs.
Ones.
You get packs, right? Packs. It's all about packs. So you're gonna earn currency. We'll talk about how you're gonna get currency later, and how you can buy packs and everything. But I've got a couple packs already bought here, so I'm gonna open a couple packs to start this off, so everyone can see kind of how pack opening is working right now. Still a ton of stuff. Remember, this is alpha 1. This is patch 0. This is just the beginning of pack opening. This is where we're at today. You can open packs in the game. So as you play through the alpha, you're going to be able to earn currency by playing matches. You'll be able to use that currency to open packs, which are going to unlock summons and wildcards for you. So boom. I might get some new ones here. I might get some duplicates. Duplicates and what those all do will come into the future. We're not going to hold up on that right now. So if you get something new, good for you. You get something new. So we're just going to open these 3 packs really quick. I got a Slow Claw. I got a Deadeye. I got a Wreck-It. I believe Deadeye and Wreck-It are new summons that you may have not seen yet. I got a Temporal Extension Wildcard. And I got a Tadpole. I'm going to do one more for y'all. And you can see there's different rarities of cards. So the rarity of cards determines how likely you are to get them. It's not, hey, these are better than other cards. They don't have better gameplay mechanics or anything like that. The rarity is how rare of a card is it that you're going to get them. So boom, we did some packs. All right, now let's jump into the deck building. So you may or may not have seen deck building in the past. So let's kind of walk through deck building, and you'll see right here our newest champion, Neva. We will go through Neva and everything once we jump in game. I don't want to spend a lot of time out of game. I'd rather just show you what she does in game. But part of the deck building with this, so no different. You're going to be able to select a deck. You can create a new one. So if we were to create a new deck, we're going to have 10 summons that go into these decks. You'll see down here all the summons that you can put into here. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see the card. You will see their description of what they do, and you'll see some keywords. The keywords are going to tie you into different wild cards and abilities that champions do, and that's how they affect them. So we'll kind of show that into the wild cards and how that work. So you can pick your 10 summons. You can build out your deck. You'll see down here all of the summons that are locked that are currently not here that you can get through opening packs. When you first log into Alpha, you're only going to have 10 summons. So I opened 20 packs, 25 packs or something today, and I got a few more summons. So it's going to take a bunch of packs to unlock all of the summons. So make sure that you're playing games and getting currency to open packs and get new summons to try out and play. So once you have the summons in your deck, then you're going to go on to the wild cards. The wild cards are a power up inside of the game. We'll show how those work in the game. It has changed a little bit from what it was in the past. These are bonuses that when you get it, they last through the whole game, and they're a bonus to you and your teammate. That is an important thing. This is now 2v2. Both of you get a card, so you can put 5 in your deck. Your teammate can put 5 in their deck, and you can have 10 wild cards that could be at play. You both get them, so it's a little different. If you both have Astral Rejuvenation, guess what? They stack. If you both get Heroic Fortitude, guess what? They stack. So that's how it is right now. Whether or not that's right or wrong, TBD. But it's pretty fun so far. So you can build these wild cards. You'll fight over them in game. We'll show you what that looks like when we jump in the game. And then the newest thing in deck building is talents. I don't have any talents unlocked, so I can't actually show you them. But what talents are essentially skills that will add on to a champion. A couple examples are Bolgar's Log Zuka. Will get more knockback power to it. Every time Bolgar last hits an enemy, he'll drop a healing orb that somebody can pick up on the field. So you will be able to get the talents, apply them to the champions. They act as a passive that's on them all the time. Sometimes it's an additive passive. Sometimes it's improving an ability in some way. So you will get those talents through progression, which we're going to talk about once we get out of the game and you kind of see the stuff leveling up. I don't want to hold up too much getting into the game. So that's the deck building. Boom, summons, talents, wild cards. We're going to get into a game really quick here, and we're going to start going through everything in the game because looking at menus is cool and all, but gameplay is better. Now, to get into game here, we've got something else that's new. I'm going to open up our social menu. So we've got a social menu. You've got friends. You've got a gamer tag here that you can use and send to people to send you invites, add you as a friend and everything. You can invite people. You've got your blocked people. This will show recent players as well, and you can add people through it. So I think I've got Mr. Luke added right here. So it's pretty simple. I'm going to invite him to my party. And Shady and Remy, would you guys join a party? So then we'll just queue up as twos. So boom, he joins my party. And you can see right here, he's in my party. I can disband this if I want to. And that's that. So now you can, going into alpha, you can play with your friend. You know you're going to be on their team. And it's as simple as that. You guys let me know when you're ready to queue up.
Sent you a friend request, Remy?
Maybe you guys can tag us with your dream duo on our Play Wildcard Twitter account, and we'll show us what you got.
And it also helps being able to play with 2v2 because the champions essentially are starting to fill roles now more. The summon decks and how you can combine them, and you can be like, hey, I'm going to play a defensive deck, or I'm going to play a super aggro deck. So you could really start to get into all of the ebbs and flows of building everything with the person that you want to queue with. Queuing as a solo still works perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You can still play the game like that 100%. But now with the 2v2 being added in there and changed, you can play with your friends. Are you guys ready to queue up?
Yep.
Cool. I'm going to queue up the Lushland 2v2.
Lushland 2v2.
So the first thing we're going to do when we get into here is I'm going to walk through Neva's kit, and then we'll walk through kind of the game mode. This first match, we're just going to kind of walk through, show a bunch of new stuff, and then we'll talk through the progression and how leveling up works. And then after that, we'll play a full game so you guys can see everything in action. So we're in the champion select. I'm going to go ahead and pick myself Neva. I have made a deck for her already. So I've got some wild cards and some summons in there. No talents on her yet, though. We got to level champions up to get that. She actually won't have any talents in this first alpha build. Her talents will come online in the future. So Locke, Ragna, and Bolgar, they're the only ones that you will be able to get talents on in this specific build. And trust me, Neva don't need no talents right now. She is strong. She is very, very strong.
With her sidekick, she's already multifaceted.
She is. She has a lot of cool stuff going on with her kit here that you all will see. I don't think we've ever shown or leaked anything for everybody. All right, so this is Neva. So she's got her sidekick XO. XO is the suit that you will see on her back. And basically she's got a 2-hit combo. So she's gonna attack a little bit slower than everybody else. She's got big damage though. She's a duelist, so she wants to 1v1 people. So she's gonna be somebody that wants to go and take on Wildcard and take on Ragna. She can stand toe-to-toe with them very, very well. A couple things to notice when I was just hitting there, just call out as we go through this. I'll talk about some of the combat updates. You don't get locked into combat anymore. You are free to move about in the cabin while you are attacking, and you will still lunge or lock on towards somebody the first time you speak to them if you're within range of them. So you'll see I kind of close the gap there still. Stop running circles.
You're gonna hurt me.
So you'll see like I'm not in range, and once I'm in range, I will lunge and I will connect. I won't connect on the next combo, so you're not going to keep lunging over and over again, but you will lunge on that first attack to close the distance with our melee characters. A lot more freedom, something to get used to. You don't tie people up in the combat. Then we've got, I'm just going to show you the jump. So you've got her dash. So what her dash does, do you guys have a mechanical summon? Alright, so we've got some mechanical summons. Oh no! I'm going to dash through them, and I have now hacked them, and I have turned them to my team. You can tell by the health bars and flags on there. And so while they are hacked, they can still be attacked by the enemy, so I can turn stuff to my team, and then the other player can fight them. So now kill your guys' own summon. Haha, you wasted your mana, and I took it over, and now you destroyed it. So that's her hacking ability. It has an extra step to that as well versus champions. So she could do it with that. She also does that with her special ability. So her air attack, when she jumps in the air and uses the attack, it will also hack things as well. So her dash and her air attack both hack. And what they do to non-mechanicals is they will silence them. So if I dash through him, he can't attack me. See, he stopped attacking until it wears off, and I'll start attacking. So a silence is going to say, hey, anything that's not mechanical, they're not going to be able to attack or use abilities. That also affects champions. So if I dash through Volgar right now, he can't use his Lagzuka, he can't dash. All he can do is attack and throw cards. So you can shut down them from using their abilities. So it's a very big EMP blast that hacks mechanical and silences everything else. So that's the dash. She's got a dash count of 2. She is a little squirrely, and then she's got the air attack that does the EMP blast. Now her sidekick, XO. There's 2 things that XO does. One, XO is giving me a bigger health pool, which is 250 right now. So go ahead and KO XO off. Watch what happens. So once XO leaves me, I am now by myself. I'm solo, so I can attack different. I have different dashes. And you'll see down by my abilities, I have a 15-second timer for XO to come back. And I have 75 health. So you have a little bit extra health pool, 250 at base, 75 without the suit. So that's a total of 325 health. She is a little tanky, and she is a little squirrely. So her cooldowns are a lot faster on her dash when XO isn't on her. And then every time XO comes back to you, she basically full heals. So you have to be aware of if you're fighting a Neva that her health is going to come back when the XO goes back on. The actual abilities on the sidekick. So I'm going to press E, and I'm going to bring up a menu. I've got a support, a melee, and a ranged option. So we're gonna show a couple of these. So let's go ahead and do the support bot to start off. XO is going to leave me. I'm vulnerable while XO builds the bot. Builds a support bot. That support bot is going to link to me to the basic increase movement and attack speed. And it also can link to teammate champions as well. So she's a duelist, so this allows her to really amp up the damage that she's going to do with attack speed. All the bots can be KO'd themselves. The melee bot is a typical melee type of summon. Once I get the cooldown back, I'll spawn it. And then the ranged one is a stationary ranged turret, and it prioritizes champions. So while we're waiting for that cooldown, you'll see these little gears that drop. This is scrap. This is how I charge my ultimate. Every time I KO something, these scraps drop, and it charges my ultimate. Now you'll notice my ultimate right now can be used. There's no limit as to when you can activate the ultimate. It can be used the time. And based on how much scrap you have to use it, will determine the duration that it gets used for. So let's go ahead and spawn a melee bot, and then I'll show you the ultimate. So I'm going to print a melee bot right now. You can see the cool melee guy coming online. He's going to go fight. Oh, slow probably going to let him fight.
There we go.
There's your melee. Super cool. I will activate my ultimate. So my ultimate Exo is going to print and form a giant mech suit, basically the size of the bully. So let's activate it. Boom. I am now mechanized Evo. And so this will last for a duration based on how much scrap you used. And there's no way to cancel this. So if you use it, you're stuck in that ultimate for a little bit. And then there's that window right there you can see when I come back for my ultimate. I have less health, so she could get one-tapped pretty easily if you time it for when she's coming out of her ultimate to back to the Exo suit because she has to get her health back. Alright, so now we've got the ranged bot, so let's print that for you. And the ranged bot will sit there and be stationary. Prioritizes champions if the champion is in range, otherwise it will attack. Summon, so he's in range, so it'll prioritize him now.
Got this guy in my hand for everyone to check out here.
New summon.
Yeah, I got the big one, the big boy.
So there's Infernus, the new fire summon. The fire system is also updated, so the way fire works now is it's going to apply damage. So what he's going to do is he's going to apply fire damage to me, and then over the course of 5 seconds, it's going to tick down, and you can see it's applying damage. During those 5 seconds, if I get hit by fire again, so okay, he hits me, I take fire damage, and then if I get hit again by it, while the fire damage is still going, it'll reset those stacks up. So you can basically keep fire damage on everybody, and you can keep stacking it more and more. So if I hit you with 100 damage, it's gonna then scale over those 5 seconds and be like, hey, take 80 damage, take 40 damage, take 20 damage. If I get hit with fire again, it's gonna take the remaining damage, add it to those stacks again, it's gonna restart that counter. So you're never gonna lose damage if fire is stacking on each other, but it will reset their counter and apply more damage on the first tick. So it's a pretty in-depth, intricate system that I encourage everybody to play with and kind of figure it out. But it really leans into Ragna and how she can stack fire with her dashing and her attacks and her abilities and everything. So Ragna's fire stacking is really, really fun to play with all these kids. Deadeye is a new summon. I don't think anybody has the stationary range for it. It does run away, so he's in range, so right there. Super, super long range for it though. It's meant to be more of like a sniper. So you can see that distance that it's hitting now. Pretty long distance. Very good for all you factory goers out there. Does have wear and tear, does take damage and everything over time. But another very fun new summon. The only other summon that I know of that's new that hasn't been in other patches is Beckett. So it's a punk inside of a big, giant mech suit. Here we go. He is very tanky and he deals a lot of damage. He's just a very, very overall. So that is Eva. Those are the new couple summons that maybe nobody has seen before. Now let's touch on the game mode as it's about to go into overtime, right? As it goes into overtime, the goalies are going to actually leave the basics, which is a function of overtime. They will walk down the lane and fight each other. But the biggest changes to how the game mode works now is how you so start with the wild card. So I've got the wild card down here. You can see there's a shield around the wild card that you interact with now. And once you break that, you then just hold and pick up the wild card. tab screen or the back button on a controller, you can see what talents and wildcards everybody has. So that's all there for everyone to look at. Now, the main flow of the mode is we want to take the goalies down. So let's take the goalies down. You want to take the goalies down, and you're not gonna hold the score and drag everyone. Shields down. Goes down to score. You've got the intimidation aura still around the goalies that gives you less mana. When the goalie went down there and cleared out all of the other summons of the opposing team. We've got all the core goalie mechanics that we've had in Wildcard for a while. Now we've got this shield here, so we're going to beat up on the shield a little bit. So we're just going to do damage to the shield, and there's a couple mechanics around it. So when the goalie respawns, it's going to clear out all of the summons in this area. It's going to KO our goalie, it's going to KO the summons that I put out, and it's going to have a soft reset of the field. While the goalie is up, the shield helps you. Boom, your shield is down. Don't let them score. Now they're able to push our shield. Obviously, in the game where it's not overtime, the goalie's not going to chase me. You can see this intimidation aura right here. So I go in this, and man is less. Right now, their shield health is going to be regenerating because their goalie is up, and then we're going to work on taking down the goalie and attacking the shield. Once the shield is down, time to score. Then you will interact with the shield really quick, and you will score its ability. So no longer do you have to hold in your interact and stay still for 15 seconds. It's all about dealing damage. Deal damage to the goalie. Deal damage to the shield. Time to score. Interact with this. We're going to break the shield. Goal! So as we get to the post game here, we're going to get some progression. We're going to progress our account, which you're just going to get by playing the game. You're going to get XP, which you will then unlock things every time you level up. You will progress your champion, which as you level up your champion, you will progress their mastery track. And look at that, I went to level 2 right there. So I will get a reward for Neva's mastery track. And then you will also get some currency, and this currency is going to be how you open packs. Every pack in this build for the Alpha 1 is set to 150 coins that you need. So I got, almost half of a pack from that game. Here's your after action report. If you're interested in stats and everything, which I know a lot of people are, you can see how many champion KOs you got, how many creature KOs you got, how much damage you're dealing, how much damage you're receiving, and then how many creatures you're summoning. So now I'm going to show you all, before we start up this next game, I'll show you kind of where that progression lives and how you access it. So up in the upper right hand corner here, if I click on my name, I got some account stats. So you can see how many games I've played, time, the win rate, damage that I've done, enemy KOs. I'm linked to my thousands account. I've got my overall account level. And then we've got just some most played things and how many games I've played with these champions. Then if I go into my profile, this is where I can change my profile icon, my banner, and my title. So I've got my different icons that I have unlocked here, and you can see there's a bunch that we're working on getting in here. And then I've got my titles, which decided to not show up right now. Awesome. So there's titles where it says newbie. You can change those. There's 100 titles in there. And then banners is the red background. There's a bunch of those. And you can unlock those through account progression and champion progression. So then if I click on this mastery tab, this will be my general account progression. So you can see you can get something for every single level right now. All of this, again, is set up for Alpha 1. It's probably going to change going into Alpha 2 and early access and everything. So expect all of these progression paths to be set up for testing purposes, and it will all get reset during all of Alpha. But you can kind of see we have it set up to get different types of currency, different types of boosts. We got some skins in here, and some banners and icons and whatnot. So you can progress through all of that. Similarly, as you level up champions, you will progress some masteries with them, and that's how you'll get their talents. You'll get some banners, icons, and you'll get their talents as well. So that is all the progression, and you can see my currency went up there. So if I was to have enough, I could go in the store and I could buy a pack. But I don't have enough yet, so I got to play a couple more games. Play one more game, and then we got to do another game. So that is there. Is there any questions in the chat before I queue up for the next game that we want to answer at all?
The Titan had a question about the currency coins. Are those tied to the Wildcard token? And also he was asking about the goalies attacking instead of just being defensive. He seemed pretty excited about that part.
So the currency coins, these are not tied to anything. This is an in-game currency only. So you'll get it from playing the game. This is our quote unquote soft currency in the game that you'll just get for playing the game that you'll be able to open certain packs with. Then the goalies, they do attack. They also attack pretty aggressively. If you fight around the goalies, they will switch over and attack you. So if me and Remy are fighting around his goalie will stop fighting my summons and it will actively switch to me to attack.
For anyone that's played the game in 1v1 mode, essentially the goalies are now smarter to go along with the 2v2.
Yeah, because like when you used to be able to lock people into combat and everything like that, it was a little bit more nuanced. Now that you have the freedom of moving around while you're fighting, we want the summons to really be able to be a part of the combat. So the summons don't get locked up. They are as free as you are to fight. So if I throw down a summon next to combat with me, it's immediately going to be fighting the person that is fighting me. It's going to help me. It's going to fight alongside me. And it really allows you to play into what summon should I use in this fight to help me beat the other player. And it also really helps with the kind of balance nuance of, hey, Bolgar has more health than Locke, but Locke does more damage. And it's like, well, if Locke uses the right summon to help him in a fight against Bolgar, Locke can win that fight for sure. So you can really take negatives in matchups and you can turn them into positives by utilizing the summons in a way you might not have been able to utilize them in the past. So I really encourage building the deck, making sure there's summons that you want to bring to the fight, that you want to fight alongside you and fight with you, because they really make a difference. Like Wachi is like one of my go-tos right now. I want that Wachi to come in. He's very fast to get into the fight and attack, and he does a lot of damage, so really helps me win the champion one-on-one fights.
And then Monty was asking about what factors go into the coins that you win. So if you win a match, do you get more coins? If you lose a match, do you still get coins? How does that work?
Yeah, so you will always get experience. You will always get coins. If you lose a match, you get 60% of everything right now. So everything is based on what you're doing in the game and how long you're playing for. And if I win and I get 100 coins and you lose, you're going to get 60 coins. So you will always get something and always be progressing in some way.
And then Monty's asking about the appearance of the final winning screen. Is it going to show both parties, like both members of both teams? How does that work?
Yeah, so we haven't done a full pass yet on getting everything up to snuff with the 2v2. You'll notice that when you do the champion select, you don't see any of your teammates' stuff, and you don't see any of it at the end of the game either. So that's something that will come in future updates as we solidify all the changes in 2v2 a little bit more. All right, you guys ready to queue up and we can play like a full game so everyone can see everything kind of in action?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Ready to lose a full game.
I am queued up for Rushland 2v2.
Let's do this with style, Shady.
You can't put yourself down before it even starts, Shady. Like,
All I gotta say, if you didn't read it, that was the longest I've ever lasted in a match with Brad.
Look, I already know what type of practice you ran in,
That's right. I'm not practiced on Neva, if that helps at all.
I'm actually
feels a little
playing
better.
Brad's main right now.
Yeah. Ragna's my main. I love Ragna so much. I love the fire updates for Ragna.
I did not have a deck built to win. I have a deck built to show Neva off, so that's what I'm using.
So what you're saying is that Brad rigged this whole thing so he would look good. Is that what you're
Unfortunately, Remy, I am rocking the same thing.
Yep. So if we lose, it's because of Brad. It's okay.
There you go. You got it. You
The
got
funny
it.
thing is, right when I
We'll do our best to kind of like walk through what we're doing within this match and everything. So when the match starts, we're starting here in the middle. Generally, I do play pretty aggressive, but I'm going to save my mana up a little bit here because I'd like to strong stuff right on the field right away. And I am going to use my just hack that shock scorpion, get it. He's silenced right now, he can't use any abilities, so I was able to make it so he couldn't dash away.
Yeah, that's why I didn't dash away. So we just burned down the wild card right there. Let's see what we got. Inferno Surge, so fire is going to be doing more damage. And then we got thorns on us in our goalie. Got a turret here. Down back on my goalie. Give him a little bit more support.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Neve coloring for tactical camouflage. I did not see you on that wild card.
double record, Brad? Let's go.
Did you get slowed or anything like I just did? Your dash always cleanses the combat. So be aware that if you ever feel like you're getting slowed in a violation, you can just use your dash to get away. You have Sky, you got Sky.
Time to score.
Sky will also slow you. So I want to make sure I'm getting all my down so they can play anything.
Shields down. Time to score.
So because we got a KO right there, it allowed us to snowball that pretty fast.
My teammate abandoned me on
Yeah, he was over there,
was diving the goal.
fighting our goal. Yeah. So you can kind of see in a 2v2 sense, if you do get split up from people and your other teammate, it could be detrimental as well. So the communication, everything will go a long way, and really looking where your teammates are and everything like that.
You will absolutely want to communicate with your teammates, letting them know where you're at, what your plans are, and everything. It's very important.
Yeah, I'll queue up for one more. So that was a quick one. I think I got a weird bug on my exo during that. Yes, Neva is low-key OP in this build. She definitely is.
You get some haste on her, and she's just basically like an auto turret.
Yeah.
She is fun to play, though.
All right, I feel like I can get away more with a default deck.
And everybody starts off this build with the same summons, the same default deck, and you will be able to change that by playing, opening packs, and getting more summons. So make sure that you're playing and opening packs to get more summons to be able to change how you build your decks.
What you guys did see there in terms of like team coordination, they didn't have to say it, but they shared a single brain cell for a moment where they both threw out the Wreck-It, and that was between the two of them. That is 160 damage together per swing. So that was kind of very mean.
Jans. So right there, right? I hacked their Jans, so he has to make a decision. Does he run away from it, or does he KO his own summon that he just spent?
Looks like I just took all your scrap, right?
And all the enemies
As
can
the
pick it up as
opponent,
well.
we can too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the enemies
Everybody.
can pick up the scrap as well.
Ragna is very good versus Locke. Player Locke is a little bit lower health. He is very squishy, but he's very hard to get a hold of with how he dashes and hovers and everything. So just know, Locke is squishy, Volgar is tanky, Ragna and Neva are in between.
If only he was lower and all that would be
Wildcard's up, so he's gonna go for it now. You really gotta be careful about how many mechanical summons you deck you play Neva, but I can definitely
Now you got
So right here too, like when the goalie goes down, it does KO and clean up all the summons. So as we make these pushes, we want to be careful of how many summons we're using each time, because we don't want to use too many summons and not all of our Right there, I'm in the goalie's intimidation aura, so my mana gain was slower, so I'm going to run away from that so that I can get my mana back up and get a solid push. Goalie needs some help, throw out a chonk, help distract, I think, every point of HP my goalie can have is pretty good. We got 20 seconds till the wild card. I'm going to put this turret over here, because it can reach the goalie without the goalie. I don't know how long the range it is actually. Let's speed it up so it's a couple of
Shields down.
So right there,
Time to
right,
score.
Sky stops near the goalie, so I can fight the goalie and be in my hasted aura. So I have my sped up attack speed. Something else to note is when you're attacking the shield here like I am, you do have more movement speed. The reason for that is so that you don't have a bunch of like ring around the rosy fights around the goal. It really makes it to where if you're hitting the shield, you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage by moving slower. I've got 10 seconds till the goalie comes up, so I don't really want to.
You don't want to waste mana.
Yeah,
So
waste
goalie
mana,
just come
put
back
some
in.
there. That's exactly what I was thinking, and I couldn't say it. So I hacked that dance. We got our team for a second. Got a shot in. I'll go hack this chance too while I'm at it. Boom. So I'm just like being annoying right now. All their mechanical stuff. It's gonna take a little bit to
Your shield is down. Let them score.
drop down Jan's here to get some damage. They've got a pretty good push coming here. We got to get back because these swords will burn. I know it's after them. Really damage outside of punching. Not good and Volgar are a little bit more inside. You could get him. You always have to remember, if you do turn something, you gotta make sure you stay there to think about the way it turns out. I'm just gonna clear out the top lane, he's down there, and just gonna basically ignore. Got all this mana built up. I'm gonna use a Shock Scorpion, and I'm gonna lead it with a Chonk. Chonk's gonna take the aggro, and the Shock Scorpion. Shock Scorpion is going to do more damage over time. I'm going to dash and air attack in here. I'm going to die here. So now the goalie is about to go down, so we don't want to use, we want to be careful. We don't want to use too much.
Enemy shield's down. Time to score.
Oh, the frog's coming to help me. Turn on the Volgar. Oh, he dashed off and fell off the edge. Fell off the edge. Switch right here. Take over his cans. So not quite a full push. So now you'll see the health of the shield is going to regen a little bit over time. So it was about half of a bar up there on the HUD, and now it's at a full bar. So the longer they defend right now, the more advantageous it is. Same with us. Like our shield health also is going up. So you do want to keep the pressure up. You want to keep trying to take down the goalie. Otherwise, their shield health is just going to get hurt. See, there's a bunch of wild cards in play between all of us. Everybody's getting their wild cards up and running. So I've got my ultimate at full. Probably going to use a little bit damage here. And I'm going to try to put a bunch of damage to it. I'm going to save the rest of my mana for when he goes up.
Enemy shield is down. Time to score.
This is the freedom of combat really helps you to play these abilities while being to your advantage. So I was able to, stay in combat there, use the lump to heal me up, and try to sustain.
Goal! Just as I respawn. Monty, that's my entire method of grabbing the wild card. Let the other team take the shield and just steal it and run.
So you get a DFA dropped on your head.
That's why I always move. Never stop moving, never stop summoning, steal the wild card. That's my method.
All right. That's, I think, everything I got. Anything else that you all want to show or talk about that we might have missed?
Just that the playtest schedule is going to be changing. Normally it was Mondays and Fridays. We are now moving to the weekends. So it will be Friday evening, and then into Saturday we'll have another one. So you want to keep an eye on the Discord events. We'll have more information coming. We'll also make much more announcements as to the time frames on those. And then also, I put something in the chat there. Make sure to go to the Steam store page, wishlist, and sign up for that closed alpha playtests. We need you guys in that playtest. We need you guys having fun and telling us what you're thinking about the play. If you're a holder, you already have access. You just have to get a new key from us, so open a ticket and ask the team, and we'll get you that new playtest key.
We'll be holding office hours tomorrow, which is kind of more or less just hanging out, but kind of the call for anyone else that wants to play tomorrow evening to get